Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to The Cosmic Catch-Up. I'm Corri.
And I'm Dana. We're real-life sisters who said no thanks to the 9-to-5 grind and yes, please, to the stars, spirit, and soul-led living.
Around here, we're talking ascension, astrology, human design, sound healing, and the messy magic of waking up.
So if you've ever thought, there's got to be more than this, you're our people. Two sisters, deep talks, whole lot of magic. Let's catch up. Hi, Corri.
Hi, Dana. How are you feeling today?
Well, I'm going to do a disclaimer right now. I am suffering from some allergy
It's like
symptoms.
sexy voice.
I wish it was sexy. It sounds more scratchy than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am not contagious. I am totally well other than allergy issues.
I feel the same. The past few days, I've started to feel just in the throat, and I've been taking my immunity boost. I have some throat spray. I like trying to take all the things.
All the homeopathic remedies. Yes.
Yeah.
I've got them all on my counter. You know, I love a neti pot, so I'm doing that. So it's clearing up. It's just going slowly.
Well, the weather has been very odd here in Texas.
Yes.
It's like 80 one day, 55 the next, 70 the next, 80 the next.
It is
And for February,
very atypical.
very atypical.
For our Texas winters. I was looking in the forecast and it's like 70 degree in the 70s for the next week. Yeah. Then maybe it drops to the 60s, upper 60s for a week. And then we're back in the 70s. And then it's going to be March and spring. So like, to me, this feels like really early spring.
Yep.
And not winter at all. We did get our blast of winter weather.
For a long weekend.
For like, for like 5 days.
Maybe.
And
I would say normally here, we can get in the 30s and 40s and stay for usually. And remember, February we used to have the massive snowstorms.
Yeah.
And it was cold, and now not so much.
I would think typically, we've been here both of us more than 20 years, and it does feel like we kind of hit 50s and 60s in March.
Yeah,
and then we steadily climb.
Yeah.
So this is very abnormal,
yeah.
And I think there's some reasons behind that.
I would agree. So today's episode, we're not just chatting weather for fun. That's what we're going to talk about. And this idea of weather modification.
Yeah. Weather manipulation and control and like what's really going on. Because I know our local weather isn't the only crazy weather going on. I have a friend in Colorado and she's like, I was like, how's your winter? It's her first winter out in Colorado. And she's like, it's not cold. She's like, it's really windy, but not really cold. And she says, everyone I've talked to is like, this is not typical February weather for them either.
I even think with skiing, they haven't had the snow. And I've seen pictures and it's like dry.
Yeah.
So it's very strange. And
I think it's all over, not only the country, but I think the world. Because we hear about like flooding in certain parts of the world that don't get it, or really dry in certain parts of the world that are typically wet. Like it's everywhere.
Yep. Seeing a lot on social, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but let's talk about chemtrails and contrails, because a lot of people are now commenting on the chemtrails. And if you don't know what that is, essentially chemtrails look like gigantic lines in the sky.
Crisscrossed.
It could look like a checkerboard.
It comes out the back of a plane.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And my husband actually laughed at me. This was last summer. And he said, those aren't chemtrails. Well, he didn't know what the term was, but the term is contrails. And that's what he thought, those are thin white lines that come out of planes. It's like the exhaust. And think about, it's like when the jet engine exhaust meets cold, humid air at high altitudes. And so it leaves a little trail, but it quickly disperses.
Like condensation, right?
Yes.
Like hot meeting cold creates some condensation, and then it sort of dissipates pretty quickly.
And it depends on the variables that, humidity, what's going on in the atmosphere, but they are not long-lived. The lines we're talking about shoot all the way across the sky, and they don't dissipate. They start to grow.
They spread.
So
what is in a chemtrail? Like if we're thinking contrails or condensation and it's exhaust from fuel and whatever. What's a chemtrail?
Yes. So, and we're going to reference our notes because we're not just pulling this off the top of our heads, just so you know. And you can check us
research.
if you want. Yep.
And I read it.
So a chemtrail is believed to be artificial aerosols deliberately sprayed into the atmosphere. Now, they're not acknowledged by official sources, but a lot of people report that they see them and they question them. And
I love that it's not acknowledged by official sources, yet there are states banning them.
Correct. And many states have banned them,
If
and
it's
yet
not
you still
real,
see them.
then why are you banning something
Correct.
that's not real?
And from what I understand, because president had banned them, and people are like, well, if you ban them, why are you still seeing them? Because it's done by private companies. It's not the government necessarily doing it. They're private entities that are doing it. They're said to contain metals, biological agents, or other chemicals, and it's often linked to weather modification, geoengineering, or other covert programs.
Dun, dun, dun.
And so when you think about weather modification, it could be we want to have warmer weather in certain areas. It could be we want to bring in snow. So,
Or cause a hurricane.
That's exactly right. So we have a real life example, which I think finally convinced my husband. So we were lounging at the pool last summer. Beautiful, clear blue skies.
Completely empty. Beautiful blue.
Just
getting ready.
Maybe one cloud off in the distance.
Getting ready for a scorcher of a day.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely hot. Well, Dana and I look up. We see a line.
One plane.
Then another line.
2 planes.
Another line.
3 planes.
So I think we probably saw about 5 or 6 lines in the sky.
And this was all within 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We saw them all shoot across.
And we said, hey, I said, honey, look up. Look at these lines. This is what we're talking about. And he looked up and he was like, okay. But he didn't think anything of it until about an hour later. All of a sudden, massive cloud cover.
And not your big, white, fluffy clouds. Thin, gauzy, just covered all the blue in the sky clouds.
And the sun.
It looked very thin, very like spread out.
Kind of hazy.
Hazy, not like a pretty puffy white cloud.
Yeah.
No.
So he finally said, okay, you may be onto something.
This might be a thing.
You might be right. And again, there are several probably claimed reasons, but I don't know if you guys ever notice when it rains, if it's just water, why is your car dirty?
Filthy.
And you have to get a car wash after it rains because there's stuff
in the air
and the rain that it's bringing down. And I believe it's from this modification.
I agree.
So the traits, again, of chemtrails, that they persist for hours or they spread unnaturally, which we've witnessed.
We've seen it.
Crazy haze
in
or milky,
real time.
Crazy haze or milky skies. Check.
Check.
Often seen in crisscross or grid patterns. Check.
Check.
And associated with spikes in illness or odd weather.
Yeah,
Wow.
check.
Huh.
So interestingly enough, I woke up the other, we're recording this on a Thursday. I woke up on Tuesday. So about 3 days ago, I woke up in the morning with this scratchy throat. And I'd had the windows open on Monday, and they're doing chemtrails all across Dallas all the time. Mm-hmm. And that Tuesday, it was hazy and almost like a brownish gray, not like a real gray, but like a brownish gray.
It felt a little like a tornado weather look.
It did. And having grown up in Kansas, we know what that looks like. It was a weird shade of gray, and the sky was completely covered. And I'm like, I don't know that this is exactly allergies. Or if, because I had the windows open, whatever they were seeding in the sky had come down, and then by Tuesday morning everything was covered, and this is when I started my little situation. So when we talk about illness and other things, I mean, we're breathing in this stuff all the time.
I've heard a lot of people too talking about flu B. A lot of people are getting sick. I don't think it's a coincidence.
No, I agree.
And if you think about illness, who does it help? Helps big pharma, helps the medical system. So it's helpful to keep people sick.
Always follow the money.
So
with this, like, we're seeing, okay, like, this is just our own like observations, right? But people have been modifying our weather for a long time, right?
Since the 1890s.
Oh, dang. I did not know it went back that far.
Yes. So 1891, the first U.S. weather modification patent was filed.
Well, dang.
And then in 1923 to about 1946, there were multiple small-scale cloud seeding experiments using dry ice and silver iodide. Then by 1946, General Electric scientist Vincent Schaefer creates the first man-made snowstorm using dry ice.
How do we not know all this stuff?
That feels harmless enough, right? They're like, because I think there was, or at some point generally believed in climate change and global warming.
But as far back as the 1940s?
I don't know, but I think that's the excuse they're using for weather modification,
I
right?
always go back to, I'm sorry, Jurassic Park. I mean, this is a weird non sequitur, but this idea of, I think it's the Jeff Goldblum character that says, and I think this is true of maybe the American culture and just many in the scientific community in general, of people are so interested to see if we can do something. Nobody stops and says, should we do this?
That's a great point.
So I'm wondering if it was, hey, let's see if we can, not really thinking about consequences or the future and all of that be damned.
Well, I actually believe, and we'll get into it here, I think it was intended for military use. So an example of that
makes sense.
Is Project Cirrus, with the cloud cirrus, the cirrus clouds. 1947, joint effort by GE and the U.S. Army, who attempted to divert hurricanes. It failed and caused unexpected damage. And
well, military application sounds about right.
Right? And then you've got Operation Popeye. I don't know where that name came from. 1967 to 1972, it was conducted during the Vietnam War. And the goal was to extend monsoon season over Ho Chi Minh Trail. And they used cloud seeding with silver iodide to increase rainfall and flood enemy routes. It was declassified in 1974. And then you've got 1977, the United Nations ENMOD treaty, which was the Environmental Modification Convention. There's actually a convention that banned hostile weather modification and acknowledged that weather could be weaponized.
So I think anyone who, and this is all public information, you can go find it.
Yep.
This is not anything that we made up, but this idea of it's blatantly out there, like this can be done.
Correct.
So why would you deny it, or why would you believe, oh, but they're not doing it to us?
Right.
Interesting.
What I find interesting is bringing in HAARP, and a lot of people in the spiritual or woo community and the awakening community talk about HAARP. HAARP is High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. And so if you think about weather modification, it could also be used for technological expansion. And this was launched in 1993. It's located, or was, I don't know if it's active or not, located in Alaska. And it was officially a research program to study the ionosphere. They're accused of manipulating weather, triggering earthquakes, and disrupting communications. Dozens of patents filed for geoengineering, aerosol dispersion, stratospheric spraying, and cloud ionization. In 2001, U.S. Congress held hearings on weather as a force multiplier, owning the weather in 2025.
Well, I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than that.
And
That's
there was a U.S. Air Force document from 1996 outlining weather modification as a military tool. That's why I really feel like, and then I think what they started seeing again is when we do this, there are implications for human beings, aka getting sick, having to go to the doctor, or staying inside. There's, all these different things.
It's all boils down to means of control.
Absolutely.
Right? Like
Absolutely.
You can control whether you can leave your house or not. They can control, businesses, because if you can't leave, you can't go spend money or shop or do anything else.
Yeah.
To your point, definitely the medical system is impacted with that. But yeah, and I don't know about you, but if I don't feel well, and this could be physical aches and pains, it could be mental not feeling well, any of the versions of not feeling well, then my vibration lowers, my light that I share with the world lowers, the less likely I am, to, participate in life in a positive way. So I'm like, there's a lot of reason to try to keep people down.
Well, and hiding the sun, because we know people need the sunshine, the vitamin D. It also raises your vibration when you're in the sun. So when it's cloudy, what do you want to do? You stay inside. I won't say feel depressed, but there's not a exuberance that you might get with the sun.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Totally.
So let's talk about some modern programs and claims. So the 2000s to present. So in China, 2008 Olympics used cloud seeding to prevent rain during Beijing. And we're actually in the Olympics right now.
We are.
Dubai in the 2010s regularly creates artificial rainstorms via drone cloud seeding. Again,
it probably sounds like, oh, they're dry, or hey, we're trying to have an event, so it's fine.
Yep.
It doesn't seem like a big deal, but I don't know that anyone studied the long-term effects.
No.
On nature,
No.
on the planet, on our animal life, on humans.
Absolutely not.
They're like, well, we just want to make sure our event goes well.
Well, and so we're talking about a little bit from a global scale, but then you get into for example, the U.S. states. Guess what? Texas and California specifically are big ones that fund weather modification programs, either through state agencies or through private contractors.
Boo.
So, yeah, boo. So Texas is very guilty of it. The stratospheric aerosol injection is proposed, or I don't know if it's a group, SAI, proposed for a form of geoengineering. It involves spraying sulfates to reflect sunlight and cool the earth. And the funded research is connected to Bill Gates and Harvard Solar Geoengineering Product.
Yeah,
So
that
anytime
already,
Bill Gates is attached to something, I'd be very concerned.
it's bad.
Yeah,
It's
for
bad.
sure. So, Dana, let's talk about, what are they spraying? If they're spraying things, what are they spraying?
Chemicals I can't even pronounce. Things like silver iodide.
So some things seem harmless enough, but then there are those that don't, right? So
Like that silver iodide is used in cloud seeding in the 1940s. The purpose was to encourage ice crystal formation to increase precipitation. This has been used openly by governments and private contractors. You have salt particles and dry ice that have also been used in cloud seeding, documented worldwide. But what else is in there? So there are...
I was like, there's got to be more than that.
There's more. There are sulfate aerosols, which I love. Like, everybody promotes sulfate-free shampoos. So you already know sulfates aren't good for your hair and good for you, but they're putting it in the atmosphere. Cool. That goal to reflect sunlight, as you mentioned. Calcium carbonate, which is studied as a possible alternative to sulfates.
Because they know sulfates are bad.
Aluminum oxide appears in patents in aerosol dispersion, which aluminum being tied to Alzheimer's and brain dysfunction and all kinds of things.
And we won't get into it now, but you mentioned a key, which is related to aerosol dispersion. Using aerosols is actually really bad as well because they emit certain toxins. And so aerosol, cans of any kind,
so
no bueno.
Some independent researchers and allegedly, we're going to put that in there.
Yeah.
Other chemicals include aluminum, barium, strontium, lithium, and polymer fibers, being plastic. These come from soil tests, rainwater samples, microscopy shared by independent labs and citizens who are looking into this. So, I mean, it's a lot of stuff. And that's just by looking at what was in the ground or what was captured in the rainwater. And even in the last ice storm, people were here collecting samples of it and looking at it under a microscope. And there's some funky stuff in that. Like don't open your mouth in the rain and don't eat snow.
The snow, that was astounding. I mean, the parasites that they found, the critters crawling around. Oh,
so gross.
So yeah, if you've got little kids, don't let them eat the snow. And I still think about times when we were like, yum.
Well, maybe it wasn't. I wish I could say it wasn't so bad when we were little, but no, they've been doing this our whole lives.
That's right. Our whole lives.
Yeah. So some proposed effects in the geoengineering models. So sunlight reduction. Aerosols reflect solar radiation intended to cool surface temperatures. I don't know about you, but I think it's gotten hotter every summer in Texas since we've been here. Not cooler.
Correct. It's not working.
It's not working. Atmospheric chemistry changes. So this is possible ozone interaction, possible changes in rainfall distribution, 100% for sure. Yeah. And the alleged effects reported by citizens. So through observation,
literally we just
did persistent haze. And I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that. Unnatural cloud spreading, observed that. Respiratory irritation, living it right now. Yep. Crop stress and soil mineral imbalance, which can be caused by a lot of things, but this is potentially one of those.
But I do think that our soils have really been disrupted and imbalanced through, to your point, many things. Glyphosate being one of them, and the bug killers. And then, but I think the rains, absolutely.
Industrial farming as well. They don't rotate crops like they're supposed to. Like, yeah, all kinds of things.
Yep. We talked a little bit about the strategic and military reasons, but just to cover again, weather as a force multiplier, controlling the food systems, and then infrastructure protection or disruption. And there are military documents that openly discuss weather modification as being strategic. And to me, there's no other reason.
I mean, yeah, why not?
There are, when you think about the economic and political incentives, we're talking about disaster funding cycles. So again, if there's hurricanes or floods, guess what? You get disaster relief, and then you get people donating. And so it's a moneymaker.
I think it also could be a money laundering scheme.
Absolutely. I do too. That's another story for another day.
How much fraud have they uncovered in FEMA?
Yeah. For sure.
Just saying.
For sure. There's climate engineering narratives, climate emergency narratives, which we just mentioned right there, FEMA, and then technological control over natural systems. And we mentioned that too. So
yeah, I don't want that. No, boo. Boo.
So we mentioned our personal stories. I don't know if you guys have personal stories, but I feel like anytime I go outside, I just happen to look up just to see like what's going on today.
Yeah. And if you haven't been looking up, we encourage you to do so. Notice.
Take some pictures.
Look at your skies. I have seen so many unnatural clouds in the last couple of years. Like, to me, and I'm going to share a little bit of a lighter side of it. They're making it so blatantly obvious now.
They are.
So obvious if you just open your eyes and look. And I think that is to help people wake up to what's actually happening.
I agree.
Because you really can't deny, like your husband, he couldn't deny it after he saw something unfold in the course of an hour. And I was like, where'd these clouds come from, Mike? Out of nowhere. He's like, oh, well, maybe. Yeah, but that's on purpose, right?
He loves to say we're silly until we have proof. And then he's like, well, crap.
Yeah. And this idea is, and we believe, we'll say light forces or forces of good have already won in any kind of battle. Yeah. What's happening now is just disclosure of truth.
Yeah.
So I do not believe necessarily that nefarious forces are still at work. I believe it's being made so obvious and it appears to be nefarious forces so that people will wake up to what's been done to them for so long. And it's only when we wake up that we can say, no, I do not agree to this. I do not consent. I am not on board with any of this. It needs to stop.
Correct. And I think that's a great example of when you see them say, I do not consent.
Yeah. Anytime I see something like that, chemtrails in the sky, which is daily, I look at it and I say, clear, cancel, delete. Nothing harmful is coming down to impact anyone.
Yeah. And the more that there is awareness, the faster that we can move away from these things happening, the experience happening. And a lot of it is just disclosure at this point. So have faith, trust.
Don't be afraid. Don't be fearful. But we do want you to wake up to it, to say, yeah, this isn't right. Yeah, I'm not okay with this.
I do not accept this.
I do not accept this as my reality.
So who do we think is behind this?
I'm going to guess some government agencies. 3-letter agencies, more than likely.
I would agree with that. I think 3-letter agencies. I think there are, like I said, I do think there are private contractors. And you guys might say, well, who would do that and why? Money.
All the things we just said. There's money. It comes back to control and money. Yeah.
And there are people that honestly, it's like, don't tell me what's in this. I don't care. Just pay me and I'll do whatever. Yeah. And sadly, there are people like that.
Yeah. And airlines that are willingly dispersing pilots stuff in the atmosphere are willing to do it.
Yep. There are a lot of, Yep. World Economic Forum.
The WEF. Surprise.
Probably because they have a huge climate agenda.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they're going to be a part of that. And I really think we don't give enough props, aka blame, to the mainstream media, who they know there's media companies know these things are happening, and they intentionally don't share it with the public. So they're part of the problem too.
When you think about it, weather is the biggest news story.
Always.
Most people, if you're watching mainstream media, which if you're watching our video, you're probably not, but those who do watch mainstream media, they're mostly there to, what's the weather report? I want to hear about my weather.
And I would say that the weather seems to be getting much more accurate than it used to be, right? Because to me, being a weatherman or weather person was the only job where you could be wrong 99% of the time and still have a job. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all of a sudden, when they're saying stuff, it's like, wait, that actually happened.
Well, when you make the weather, you can predict it pretty easily.
Ding, ding, ding. That's exactly right.
Just saying, it gets a lot easier.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm kind of curious, and we were both surprised at how long this has been going on. How do you think they have kept it quiet until more recently?
Like they keep most things quiet, honestly, through distraction.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really easy to distract us with sporting events, movies, television.
Yeah.
Salacious gossip from our favorite celebrities. I mean, yeah.
And there's pure gaslighting.
Pure gaslighting.
Because if someone says, "Hey, that's not right. We shouldn't be doing that." Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. That's a contrail, or that's
it's fine. It's not real.
That's just helping the weather. That's helping the climate.
Global warming. We got to cool this stuff down.
That's right.
Cows are farting and destroying our ozone. I'm like, wait, what? Which again, if you are enslaved in this system and you're depressed because you've been sick all the time and you're stuck in your house, then you're like, well, okay, I guess I'll believe it, because you're just holding on for some kind of hope.
Yeah.
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think just this idea of just denying it even exists, right? Making people think they're crazy.
Make people think they're crazy. And then again, at the same time, there is this, I think there's a beautiful innocence about humanity. And it is, I think, considered one of the younger soul groups. But this idea of like, who would lie to me?
Right. Why would they lie?
Why would they lie?
Yeah.
They're elected officials, or they're people that we respect. And of course, they just want to take care of us. And we, in that innocence, I'm guilty of this, also want to just be taken care of.
Yeah.
So again, it's like, well, why? I'm going to trust that official, because why would they lie to me? Why would they want to harm me?
Yeah.
And I think waking up to that, because the people who are still asleep, it can explode or implode your world and completely blow up your paradigm. And that is hard. And there's a lot of anger and emotion tied to that. And I think I'm certainly guilty of this as well, that we want to hold that off as long as possible. So it's easy for me to deny it and believe the gaslighting in that situation.
Well, you don't want to believe that people would intentionally want to harm you or anyone.
Right.
Because we genuinely believe in the good of humanity.
Yeah. It's a beautiful aspect, but there are some side effects.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of it is just having a good old dose of reality.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. This is true.
And so with that said, why keep it quiet? And again, we mentioned a lot of it, right? Financial reasons. Mm-hmm. And if it becomes public, it kind of blows up the system. It blows
up the system. Yeah. It blows up the system. It blows up their money train. It blows up their, like, the whole structure.
Yep.
But
people will stop consenting.
Yeah.
Which you don't realize you are consenting by.
Well, that idea of no answer is agreement kind of thing. So if you say nothing, then you're sort of going along with it.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to share through this conversation is to say no.
Yep, that's right.
I don't agree with this anymore. This is not okay, because that weather touches everything. It touches our food. It touches our health. It touches, our mental wellness, everything. Mm-hmm. If we say no, then they have to stop.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And that goes back to that strategic advantage of having that control and power. Mm-hmm. And being able to control the weather, that's a pretty big deal.
Well, you would control life.
And I think disclosure then weakens that advantage.
Mm-hmm. It does.
So
it does, totally. Awesome.
Let's see what else. So we've talked a lot about, oh, it's harming us and you're sick and all the things.
It's terrible.
So it's so terrible. What are we going to do? We just have to live in it. No, there are things that we can do.
There are things that we can do to help our bodies, kind of navigate through this time. I don't believe it's going to go on forever.
Yeah.
I believe we're seeing the fall of it and the end of it, which is great.
Yep.
But we again see a homeopath and would recommend, again, not being a doctor or a medical professional.
We're not giving medical advice.
But we both choose to use more natural and homeopathic remedies. There's a lot out there that is not ever talked about because pharma can't make money off of it. So
Correct.
There are different binders that can pull toxins out of your cells. Chlorella is a great one.
I think you want to detox.
Yeah, detox your body
This
first.
is about detoxing. And so those binders will pull those toxins out of your body. And I take binders
every day.
Mine are on the weekends, but
Mine are every day.
So again, it depends, right? But I do take
different.
chlorella every day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Chlorella is an algae derivative that binds to heavy metals like mercury and aluminum to pull them out of your body. So zeolite, I can't say its other name.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, I've heard of zeolite, but I haven't taken it.
No, it's a volcanic mineral that traps metals and mycotoxins.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's especially a good one if you feel like you've got lead, mercury, or cadmium. There are purified liquid forms of that you can take. But again, not recommending this. We recommend you go see a holistic person.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise
do this
just
on your own.
figuring this out on your own because you also don't know what else is going on in your body.
Yeah.
So a homeopath is going to be able to give you a holistic regimen to help treat.
And figure out the right, binders that you might need because you definitely don't want to overdo it.
Because we all also have parasites, and between the toxins and parasites, you want to get on a protocol that's going to help mitigate those because the parasites will feed on the things in your body. And by the way, when you kill the parasites, guess what? You have parasite slough. It's in your body, and you got to get that out too. So there's a whole process and protocol. Yeah. So we just highly recommend if you can find someone to do that.
But I think a lot of people may have heard of activated charcoal. That's something recommended if you ingest something that's toxic in general.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. But really, you want to then support your body as you go through a detox.
You can also do borax foot soaks. You could take
Epsom salt baths.
I was like, what's the word?
Yeah, Epsom salt baths help pull
bath.
toxins out of your body. So doing that 2 to 3 times a week is always good.
Yeah.
And then, you want to support your body too.
Yeah. And there are things, and actually I knew a couple of these because I detoxed my dog after his rabies thing that I don't believe our animals actually need. And so I gave him a mix of cilantro because that mobilizes stored heavy metals, and especially from the brain, which is critical. Spirulina, which is an antioxidant, and it supports the liver and cellular repair. And I gave him milk thistle.
Ooh, lovely.
And that helps regenerate liver cells and break down chemical toxins. And then I know another one that's talked a lot about is NAC. And that is a precursor to glutathione, which we also take glutathione. And that's very important, especially as you get older. Glutathione, natural glutathione diminishes. So it's important to take.
It's a master antioxidant.
And it helps remove oxidative damage from metals and pollution. So liposomal glutathione is preferred because your body absorbs it faster.
You have to be very discerning in researching the form of what supplement you might be taking, which is again why we recommend seeing a homeopathic professional, because the body may not absorb certain things, and everyone's body is a little bit different. So there are certain formats that maybe your body would do better with. And
I do not have proof of this, but I have seen people talking about it. I would not order supplements off of Amazon. A lot of people say there's fillers and stuff in them that you don't really know. So that's where you want to get it from a trusted source. We use Fullscript. That's what our doctor recommends if you need to purchase. But again, they still have some stuff on there too. Sometimes I'm like,
I still look at the ingredients. I still look at the format. Yeah. I look at all that, see if it's a brand that I trust.
Yeah. But I would just be wary of, again, supplement stores. You just don't know what's in them. So if you can get the advice of someone that's a professional would be good. Yes.
other things you can do that's like more physical, those Epsom salt baths we mentioned, but you can also do dry brushing. Have you tried this?
I have not.
I've seen it. I haven't done it, but I'm curious about it. So dry brushing helps stimulate your lymphatic system. It's best done before showers, and you always kind of brush toward the heart. And it is like a soft bristled brush that you use on your skin. Our lymphatic system is the system that helps drainage of all these toxins. You know, your lymphatic system, your kidneys, your liver, all of those are very important, and you want to keep those in optimal health so it can remove anything toxic from the body. So we use vibration plates to help stimulate our lymphatic system every day.
You can use a rebounder.
A rebounder is great for that.
Chi machine. Which we have all of
those things. So we are doing physical things as well as taking supplements from that perspective. But dry brushing is another one. There's an infrared sauna. If you have access to that, it promotes sweating of heavy metals and plastics and more from the body. And you want to start at a low temperature and then hydrate.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
So there's also mineral and gut rebuilding, because again, gut health is extremely important. And I wish, they also don't teach any of this to you as a youth or young adult. This should be taught in schools.
Yeah, it should be like health class 101.
We shouldn't have learned it in our 40s.
Correct.
Because at that point you have to tear down things and rebuild things, and the body just doesn't adapt as easily as a kid.
The body is a miracle.
It is.
I always believe that, and it can heal and repair itself when given the right conditions and circumstances.
And so in spite of those, we're still...
Unfortunately, with what's in our atmosphere and even eating as clean as you can and organic as you can, stuff still gets into our systems. I'm not gonna stop my life. I am gonna go out to dinner
for
occasionally. So I don't know what they're cooking with. So stuff's
we know. We don't want to know, but we know.
I bless my
it's
food.
Not good.
But at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do everything I can to help support my system.
Yeah. So when you take binders, that is also going to remove things,
that you need.
minerals that you need. And so you should replenish those with trace mineral drops. And that's needed for enzymes, hormones, nervous system. Mm-hmm. You've got probiotics, which I take a probiotic. Toxins can damage the gut wall. And so it's important to, again, replenish that and use soil-based or spore-based strains for resilience. Then you've also got fulvic or humic acid, and that's natural earth-based minerals, and they bind toxins and feed the mitochondria,
which is the powerhouse of your cell. Finding a lot of diseases linked to mitochondrial damage in our cells.
Yeah. Cell damage is and again, when you go to the doctor, do they look at your cells? Do they give you a cell report? Probably not. And
highly unlikely.
That's a problem, because that's where it starts, is in the cell.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
what do we do about our water?
Well, so clean inputs, right? Filtered water. So I used a Berkey for a long time. You have a Berkey. Mm-hmm. I actually, a few years ago, went to the Purigen water filtration system for my home, and then also use reverse osmosis, which I know several people use, because that also puts minerals back in your water. You might want to use an air purifier, which you probably should break yours out after having those windows open.
Yeah,
you need
probably.
To purify your air.
I think so.
Organic produce when possible. Little tip, again, I don't know if this is true, but I felt inherently, my intuition tells me it's true. So when I'm going to caution you, and again, do your own research. I do not believe that places like Sprouts and Whole Foods that sell organic, I still think they are still sprayed with certain things. Like there's only to be designated organic. I think there are certain requirements, but not.
It's not strict.
I don't think it's as strict as we think. So one of the things that I saw someone shared, and again, I can't prove this is true, but we follow it. When you're looking at the number on your produce, if it starts with a 9 and is 5 digits, that is likely safe, and I think it has more to do with maybe the soils,
farming practices
that it's in, versus a 4, a 5, a 3 that are 4 digits. I stay away from all of those.
Me too. Mm-hmm.
So anything with a 9 and 5 digits, I would go for. But I think we've had the wool pulled over our eyes with a Whole Foods, which by the way is owned by Amazon. Who are we kidding? And Sprouts, I also don't. I buy box products. I do not buy meat or fresh produce or any of that there. So tip, take it or leave it. Oh, but you might say, well, where do you shop? You can find 9 digits. We shop both at Central Market that actually has it. And so you can check HEB if you have an HEB, or Natural Grocers.
Yeah, just look at the number of wherever you're buying.
Yeah. So some tips. Also avoid aluminum cookware and foil. Don't cook with foil. Don't wrap your food, for God's sake, in foil. Please don't put that in the fridge. And of course, deodorants don't use with aluminum. And we started using different cookware. So there's Green Pan, which we both have. And then I've also bought a few Caraway pans. I use stainless steel for my bread. So there are different things that you can use. Just, again, check.
Yeah.
Check and do your research. So if you're detoxing, though, remember, go slow. And I have found currently my liver's overwhelmed because we've been detoxing for so long, my homeopath. And I think we should put her in the show notes, and we'll give her some props if you're in Dallas and want to check her out. But she's like, I think we've overwhelmed your liver with all the detoxing that we've been doing, and it's backed up. So I've got to work on my liver. So just, again, keep that in mind. We don't do all the things all at once. It could overload your system.
Yes.
Support your bowels. It's a fun topic. You want to eliminate those daily. And then, like I just said, support the liver. The liver is super critical. Castor oil packs, which are great, and I'm supposed to do once every 3 days. You get, basically, you want hexane-free castor oil. Comes in a dark glass bottle, and you would put a little bit of that on an organic cotton, or I think it's wool as well you can use, but you can buy organic cotton, like, again, Natural Grocers, and then you put that on your liver, and you want to keep it tight. So you can use I've seen people use plastic wrap. I have a belt thing that I put on and keep it tight and let it sit and absorb. That helps your liver. They also have lemon water, but there's also liver drinks that you do with lemon, honey, coconut oil. I think those are the 3 things, and you mix them up and put that in some water. I've done it a few times. It doesn't taste bad. It's just the texture is not great.
Yeah.
So those are ways that you can help support your liver, and then kind of just monitor how you feel. If you feel that different symptoms are occurring, you want to take a break. Again, we found my liver was overwhelmed, so I've kind of stopped doing some of the other things and focusing on the liver health. And so that's why, again, I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't gone to my homeopath. So that's why I think it's really important to talk to someone who is going to be able to know and help diagnose where you're at in your process. Correct.
Yes. I love that. Those are some great tips.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Just a reminder, again, this is really to share knowledge and share information for you to then go and look outside, look at how you think, but also to know that this is just the beginning of the beautifulness of the world we are creating. So as soon as we can say, no, I don't want that, we can start to create what we do want, which is to be in rhythm and in cycle with nature, with Gaia, with Mother Earth, and get back to, living alongside that in a beautiful, harmonious way.
And I would say also, these are the homeopathic products are nature's products. They are things made from the earth. So again, the earth is giving us things. It's not going to be a quick fix. It's not like you're going to take an Advil and, things disappear instantly. So you also have to be patient and learn. But again, if you're using what God has given, what nature has given, your body will actually thank you versus putting different other chemicals in it that is just going to further harm your cells.
System, yeah.
And the whole system. So with that said, I think we should have a card. I got my Soul Truth back.
I like
card.
it.
So
Pull a card.
We're going to do one of those. Let's see. This one I think is going to be it. And it says, am I in my head or in my heart? What is the quality of your self-talk? Our brain is like a muscle. If we condition it daily, the fears and limitations will take over. Mastering our thoughts is about being the creator of our own life. Where your head meets your heart is where miracles happen. So today's soul action. Today, master your mind. Watch an inspiring video. I feel like we're inspiring. Yeah?
Yeah, this was not meant for fear.
Consider this inspiring. Yeah. Do some tapping. read an empowering book, or write out all the reasons why you believe in yourself and your dreams. I think that's great advice.
It's absolutely beautiful. And again, this is not to spark fear, but to spark inspired empowerment.
Consciousness, be aware. Just be aware. Again, we've known this for a long time. We still live our lives. We don't.
Yeah.
But we make adjustments.
Yeah. Try to support our systems as much as we can.
Yep. So with that, thanks for joining us today. Hope you found this interesting and learned a little something, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for catching up with us on the Cosmic Catch-Up. If today's episode sparked something in your soul, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share the magic with your fellow seekers. You can hang with us on Instagram at the Cosmic Catch-Up for behind-the-scenes updates and more cosmic goodness.
And if you're feeling the call to go deeper, we offer personal guidance through our individual practices. All the details are in the show notes. And if it's aligned, we trust you'll feel it. Until next time, keep following the magic. The content we share reflects our personal experiences, insights, and opinions. We're not medical, legal, or financial professionals, and we encourage you to always do your own research, trust your intuition, and seek guidance from qualified experts when needed. Take what resonates and leave the rest. This journey is yours to explore.